Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Plus. My name is Graham Day, but you know that, right? Right. You also know that this is Bibby. Bibby.
That's me.
That is
me.
I like the
morning.
fact that you've got your Ice Cream Uploads hat on, your Astros on, and your beardage on, because that's exactly how I am today. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like silhouettes. But mine's ginger and yours is black.
Well, black with hints of grey, because it's the age seeping out my face. But anyway, how is everyone doing? If anyone wondering why I am so hairy on the face, that is because if you were asleep over the weekend, you may have heard that we are about to go back into another lockdown, and barbers and stuff are about to close. So I'm saving the facial hair until Wednesday, and then I'm gonna go get my last full shape up, trim, and everything for a month. So yeah, there we go. So for the next 2 days, I will become increasingly more and more Neanderthal. So you enjoy that. Nice. Anyway, if you're in the chat, please feel free to say good morning. As Gagad has done exactly that. Good morning, gents, he says. Good morning. Abdul, who's been here for a while as well. Thank you very much for joining us in the chat. For those of you that don't know, my name is Graham. Obviously, I've mentioned that. This is Bib, and we together are Ice Cream. And in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. Some people, us, may say that this is the UK's #1 video game podcast, and they would be right. If you want to get involved, please feel free to join us in the chat, because we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions in return. We'll have a little bit of a debate live here, as we do each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. And it's important, if you are in the chat, that you do give us those thoughts and impressions, because we're going to turn this into a podcast, a video for YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if you are in the chat, use the voice. As David has just done that, said might longer than a month according to the news yesterday. Oh, might be longer. Yeah. Do you know what? Whenever I hear that, I think that kind of thing happens. I mean, the first lockdown was 2 weeks, and that lasted like 6 months. So, yeah. I mean, it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it's still here past Christmas, but we'll just deal with that. It's fine. If it's a month, that's fine. You've got the Scoop keeping you company, and if it's longer than a month, that's fine. You've got the Scoop keeping you company. If you can't watch live, you can watch on YouTube on demand, which is why we need you guys to get involved in the chat. Before we jump into the news, though. Couple of reminders. We are very, very close to 2,000 followers here on Twitch. Just 25. So if you are lingering, please feel free to hit the follow button. As soon as we hit 2k followers, we will start our next competition. But also, we are giving something away today. If you are a subscriber, you could win yourself a copy of FIFA 21, a standard edition of the game on the format of your choice. You have to be a subscriber today, though. We will draw that within the Masters of the League stream a little bit later on. So if you want to see some PES, you want to win yourself some FIFA, you want all of the football gaming content, then Ice Cream Uploads has you covered. So you have to be a sub, and you have to be in the Discord. Your accounts have to be linked. So link your Twitch to your Discord. If not, it does not count. Even if you're a sub, you'd just be throwing your money away. So don't do it. Make sure you do it. Well, do that, but don't do that. Right. Anyway, good weekend, babe.
Yes. I always forget on Monday what I've done for the weekend. I know what I did yesterday. I went into Manchester just on an absolute whim. Sat outside a garden centre and was like, "Do you want to go and get something to eat?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go to town." And then I asked you for your recommendation. Potentially found our new favourite restaurant, and then it's closed today. So, yeah, I've kind of tated it, but yeah, it was absolutely amazing.
So Bibby goes to a restaurant and it closes the very next day. Nice.
It's not as if eating from house and going from a American burger place to a Mexican place. So they were doing potentially Mexican food. It's going to be called. There's apparently a place in Deansgate called El Diablo, and it's owned by the same person. But this smokehouse, it's a really weird place to put it. I didn't even notice this until we walked out. Samantha was like, the smokehouse is there, Red's True Barbecue is right there. Like, if anyone's going to go for like American huge ribs, burgers and that, they're probably going to go to Red's True Barbecue without even thinking about going down the road to the smokehouse.
I think
so. That's probably the reason why.
There's kind of a reason there as well in terms of Red's True Barbecue market much better. I think there's like Red's all over the place as well, and they have a much more prominent space on Albert Square, whereas Manchester Smokehouse is kind of like down a side street kind of thing, and it's a cellar as well, so you have to go down into it. So yeah, it wasn't the best marketed product. There's a lot of good burgers in Manchester. That is it was one of the better ones, to be fair. But yeah, they didn't do a very good job at getting the message out. But yeah, I didn't realise it was going to be going under as well, in terms of, because their Facebook or their website says something about they're closing yesterday for the foreseeable, and I just assumed that was like a lockdown thing. I didn't realise it's closing because we're completely rebranding to become a Mexican restaurant instead.
Yeah, we just asked the bloke when he said, yeah, this is the last day you'll be able to have it. It was like, we didn't even realise until we got the receipt that it was going to be 50% off. Apparently they do 50% off on Friday, on Sundays, and we was like, what? It's amazing that. And then we realised that the table opposite us ended up having, you know, the big platters. Like, they just had like the biggest burgers that I've ever seen. It was like a tower of burgers, and then like the big £40 sharing platters and all this other shit. And I was like, they must be on a lot of money if they didn't realise it was 50% off. And then I should have fucking done that as well. Here we are. But yeah, that was Dynamite. Apart from that, didn't really do much else. Oh, I don't know. Did I say that? I don't know.
I don't know. Do you say
actually? Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, because it's no news for anybody else. I've started to pull together like until about 1:30 this morning. I probably spent about 6 or 7 hours this weekend trying to move stuff over from 20 to 2021 for the Masters of the League stuff. Not going to plan at the moment. A lot of stuff. We've got a lot of new stuff in there, which is cool. But a lot of the stuff from last year is still being tested, so I can't get everything to work at the moment. So we've got new kits. The referees now have one watch on this arm, one watch on this arm, one for goal line technology, and then one for an actual watch. So that's pretty cool. The players have got branded gloves when it's winter, so they have like Sondico, the North Face, and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Do we have Starbucks coffee cups in the menus?
Not yet. That hasn't been tested yet. But I mean, I can't even get the stadium server to work yet. It doesn't seem to be pulling through. The scoreboard server doesn't look great because I can't get it to pull through. The menus that we have in the background when you're ticking through time, only some competition have those. But there is stuff in there that I'm not going to tell anyone about yet because I think it's absolutely dynamite. I'll tell you in a bit.
For those of you who don't know what that is, we play Masters of the League, which is our PES Master League. We play that on PC. So rather than just having the kits and things that you will get if you play on the PS4, which is where most people play, if you play on the PC, you can import, say, Anfield, which was in PES a couple of years ago, is no longer in PES. Yeah. We can import all of the stadiums, the championship stadiums, multiple competitions, extra menus, all the bells and whistles. And that's what we do in our Masters of the League series, which will be following this episode of The Scoop around 12:30-ish today. So if you want to see that, we kick off the new season today. So if you want to see and you don't know what's happened before, you want to jump in, but okay, don't really know where we are with this. It doesn't matter. Brand new season, everything kicks off again, so it's a good time to get involved. Speaking about getting involved, let's jump straight into the news.
Yeah.
I mean, I would tell you what I did the weekend, but I just chilled out, had food, so that was it. Pretty much nice. Yeah. Okay, first news story of the day. This might appeal to a number of people. Well, it might be applicable, not appeal to a number of people, but this is written by Andy Robinson at VGC, and it says Game UK doesn't have confirmation of new next-gen console stock. New next-gen console stock during lockdown. English retailers will remain open for collection, but Game says it's currently only for pre-orders. Let's jump into the article, and it says retailers in England have confirmed that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S pre-orders will be available to collect from stores during the impending national lockdown. However, the situation is less clear for those who have not pre-ordered a console, with retailer Game stating on Sunday that, specifically for the Xbox Series X and S, we do not have confirmation that we will have stock on launch day for customers that don't have a pre-order. It added, we recommend checking the website for updates to avoid disappointment and unnecessary travel to store. The government announced this weekend that 4 weeks of restrictions would come into action from this Thursday, November the 5th, including the closure of all non-essential shops. That means that physical retail stores will not be open as normal during the launches of PS5 and Xbox Series X and S this month. However, Several retailers, including Argos, Game, and Smiths, or Smythes, if you prefer, have confirmed that they'll be offering a collection service for those who pre-ordered the consoles in-store as per government guidelines. Smiths will only be taking payment via card, it said in a tweet this weekend, while Argos noted that items will still be available for delivery should customers choose this option. Game is asking Xbox Series X and S pre-order customers to pre-purchase their orders in-store before Wednesday evening. Game said pre-order customers will be able to collect their console on launch day between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. Xbox All Access customers will be contacted directly today with further instructions, it said. Today, this article was written today. Nice. Both Microsoft and Sony would likely be well prepared for the possibility of further national lockdowns in key territories, as well as the potential for COVID-19 to further disrupt distribution channels. Gamer Network's head of B2B, Chris String, told VGC earlier this year that while the console launches would be challenging for both platform holders, they're also expected to comfortably sell out of consoles. Launching a big product at Christmas is already a big task, with competing releases vying for customer attention, not just in games, plus competition for advertising space, and that's even without two consoles launching at the same time. A global pandemic creating potential logistical issues and a worldwide recession, he said. But even with all of that, both consoles will launch this year, lots of people will buy them, and we'll have some great games to play on them. We just have to be a tiny bit patient until we can find out when. Interesting bit of news to start the day. Just before I throw it over and ask for your thoughts, Bib, Mr. Ravi Palmer 1993 is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
What's going on,
Morning,
guys?
Sugar.
Hey, morning, Ravi. How's things, dude? Mad says Bibby will get it fixed. Get what fixed?
I imagine that the Masters of the League stuff.
Ah, there we go. I was thinking, what did we speak about before? Burgers?
Yeah, I'll get that fixed.
So, game stock. They don't have confirmation that consoles will be available in game stores, and you can pick them up, but only if you've pre-ordered potentially. Thoughts, Bib?
I mean, the biggest thing that I can take from that is just a tiny bit further than the opening line. We do not have confirmation that there will be stock on launch day for customers that do not have a pre-order. I think this is absolutely no secret that the allocation that have been given to the UK for both the PlayStation and the Xbox have pretty much gone without even needing to queue up. They will. I would be very surprised if stores even had these on the shelves in the store to be able to pick up on the day. I think this is the first time that I have been around and had an active interest in picking a console up on launch day that there will be none on the shelves for you to be able to go and pick up. You can't find these anywhere. They are gold dust. All the pre-orders was pretty much done online. I know there's a lot of people that were queued up outside the game around my end in Denton to go and pick up their to go and pre-order theirs. But it's a very ambitious statement to think that these consoles will be on shelves for people to be able to pick up. I don't think that was ever even a consideration this time round.
I mean, I think there would probably be some stock, maybe not much. Potentially, like they might get a batch unaccounted for, like last minute, so that people could just go in, and if you're one of the first 10 people, maybe you might be able to pick one up off the shelves and get it and leave. However, you can't do that anyway, because the stores are going to be closed. You can basically have curbside collection. If you've pre-ordered the console, you can go in and get it. So, for those people that were kind of hoping to go to a game store and pick up a console, I mean, you'd have had to be there first thing, and you kind of like have to weigh up your chance as well, because you have to be there first thing. You can only be at one store first thing, because they all kind of open at the same time. So then do you go to a Trafford Centre store, which is a big store, shopping centre, but a lot of demand, or do you go to a middle of nowhere store, which is not a big store, probably won't get as much stock, but you'll have less competition for places. So you'd have to pick which store you go to, get there early, as soon as the doors open, go in and chance your hand. You can't even do that now, because obviously confirmation the stores are going to be shut. You'll see people rocking up and going, yeah, just take my Xbox Series X and S and my PS5, please. Cheers, mate. Bye. Well, maybe not on the same day, but while you're also there going, can I? No, I'm sorry, mate, you didn't pre-order. Get out of here. So the only way you could get it on launch day now, in terms of rock up and pick up, would be your Sainsbury's, your Tesco,
Yeah.
your supermarkets, your essential retail outlets that also sell non-essential items as well.
Yeah. Have you seen the picture that's at the top of this article, by the way?
Yes, I'll bring it back on screen.
Like, even before the hands face space thing of 2 meters, there's a lot of people in very uncomfortable queuing positions there. Like, how close are they together? Like, that's, again, this is way before the COVID stuff. But if I was in a queue and someone was that close behind me, I'd be absolutely livid. Like, there's no need for people to be that close together.
Like the words "come and play" on the window. I mean, those clearly know each other, but there's a guy with like a gilet or a body warmer with white sleeves, and there's a guy behind him sniffing the back of his neck. I mean, they clearly know each other. So you're like, okay, maybe he's stood it like offset, so he's kind of in between them, like kind of thing. All right, that kind of makes sense. But then you just look at the rest of the queue; they are pretty much that is like ball to butt kind of thing.
That's what I mean. Like you can't even like turn sideways if you wanted to. People are just literally squashed in there. But yeah, I mean, those were the days, the old midnight launch and stuff like that. Going down with your mates, collecting your new game or console or whatever. Those were the days, but they're well and truly gone, I think. And not just because of COVID, but the digital stuff as well. It's these days are gone.
It is kind of bittersweet in that sense. I mean, midnight openings are a thing of the past. They're not entirely, but when I say that, I mean that in terms of a progression thing. They are becoming less and less apparent. I remember not doing the midnight launch for Modern Warfare 2, but doing the 7 a.m. Got to do the school run. Well, it was not even school run, it was nursery run. It was when Chloe was preschool. I had to drop her off at the nursery and then head to work. I remember dropping off at nursery as soon as it opened so that I can go via Sainsbury's on Regent Road and pick up Modern Warfare.
You're
on the
3 hours early, Mr. Day.
Yeah, usually like on the dot. Why are you here so early? I just thought, yeah, whatever. The worst thing is I'm sat there working all day with my Xbox 360 copy of Modern Warfare 2, just sat there staring at me all day. But yeah, even that sort of stuff, obviously there's not as much demand for that. This is potentially the last console... Maybe not. I was going to say this is potentially the last console launch where we will get this sort of demand. Maybe consoles are kind of different. Obviously, video game launchers now have the digital option. You can't get the digital option of getting a console. You can get a digital console, but you can't buy you can't pick it. Just download your console digitally. I'm throwing my USB sticker out. So you have to go and pick that up. So maybe we'll still have a bit more of that. But in 7 to 10 years' time, when the next gen comes out, will be a much different world in terms of digital saturation. So that idea of people going into stores for games will be even further away from general acceptance. I mean, it's becoming less and less apparent each and every day that goes by.
For once, you can't even blame Game for this. Like, we give Game a lot of shit by their practices and the way that they handle things, but on this occasion, I genuinely, it's not their fault. Like, the allocation that we've been given as Great Britain or the UK is probably dire compared to the rest of the world. And the allocate, we just didn't have a great allocation. Not to mention that people obviously can't go into the shop and collect the console even if they wanted to with lockdown. They're having to find ways of trying to get these consoles from the back of the shop to people whilst in lockdown, when you're not really meant to leave the house unless you're going out for exercise or going to the shop to pick up essentials. I don't think game would be classed as an essential. It would to us because we're fucking nerds.
I mean, they tried to get that, didn't they? In the first lockdown, they tried to get themselves passed off as essential. This is the point when the pandemic was at its first early peak, and it was completely understood. We didn't know anything about it, and some stores and businesses, like Jelly, for example, were like, "Now that's it. We're gonna work out how to make all our staff work at home," before it was enforced. And then you've got other businesses like Game going, "Yeah, absolutely. Jack and Daxter is absolutely essential retail." And it's like, what? I just want to ask, can you hear that noise? It sounds a bit like, P3. 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 Hey, precision. Good morning. Good morning. Says, "I love you all, even Graham." Hey. Robert Daniel as well says, "I've never got a console on launch day." I'm not sure if I have. Oh no, I may have. No, I don't. No, I don't think. I don't think I have. I think I've been launch week, but I don't think I've ever been launch day either. It was around my birthday, so when I was younger, I got them as birthday presents. Which my birthday is usually about 2 weeks after consoles comes out, so not waiting for that anymore. So when it's now I'm buying it. It's I get it now. So it is. Well, I'm not buying it. Danielle's buying it, but it's a birthday present and a Christmas present kind of merged in one. But I'm getting it 2 weeks before my birthday because there's no way I'm getting it and waiting 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, me and you are in the same position because my birthday's like 7 days after yours. Samantha's like, I cannot keep this for like 20 days, knowing full well it's there and it's your 30th. So I'm gonna get it on day of launch, baby.
Yeah.
No, my luck, and fucker will turn up at 7 p.m.
Or it'll turn up at like 6 p.m. and you won't wake up until 6 a.m. and you won't wake up until 7 or something, and it'll be like, oh, well, that's it. It's gone into the sorting centre of doom with all the other ones. Never going to see it again. I managed to blag an Xbox 360 on PS4 launch day, says Madge, without pre-ordering from Game in the Past. I can't see it being 3 in a row with the PS5. And a PS4 as well, Xbox 360 and a PS4. I mean, you won't be able to do it this time, purely for the fact that you just won't be able to get into the stores to do it. I mean, there is always the chance of doing it. I remember last year, I think I meant to get one on launch last year, but I was let down by something. I don't know if it was a game pre-order or an Amazon pre-order. I can't remember what it was. Whatever it was, I didn't get it, and I was one of those people angry tweeting. Which, I mean, I could be one of those people this year. You never know. This is so annoying. I pre-ordered it to make sure I had it, and it's not turned up. We will see them. Someone you know will be tweeting that on launch day. It will happen. You've got to obviously feel for them when that does happen. It could be us. You never know. I think I was that person last time, which is why the game stuff sticks out in my mind as being so painful. Because I was like, I know Game in the Arndale has PS4s. I know they have PS4s there, but you can't just go in and buy a 350 quid PS4. You have to spend £700 and leave with like a microwave, a cuddly toy, a Henry Hoover, and all the things. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was useful stuff. It was like you have to buy the PS4 and an extra controller. So okay, well I want an extra controller, so that works. And the camera. Okay, well I didn't ever use the iToy really on the PS2 or 3, so okay. And you have to buy these 3 games. Okay, well I didn't want any of those games. I just wanted, and you have to. It's like, for fuck's sake. Okay, I get it all works on the console, but I don't want any of that shit. I just want the console. I don't have 700 quid to spend. I have 350 quid to spend, which I should have spent on Amazon or Game or whatever. So yeah, knowing that they had the consoles and you could potentially go in and blag them was nice. They kind of pissed a lot of people off last year because a number of stores went for that upsell stuff. I imagine they would probably be available for the same sort of thing again this year. So Madge could have gone in with his silver tongue, gift of the gab, and left with a console. However, there's not even an option to do that within a game this year. You can probably do that in your major retailers, your essential retailers that do stock video games, but game-only stores, yeah, you just can't go into the stores, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Ferno says, "Oi, oi, baby, have you learnt a tune yet?"
Do you know what I have? I have. Are you ready?
Oof. Oh, do you know what? Let me switch to big screen, babe.
I have. Are you ready? This one's called "Fuck You, Ferno." Fuck you, Ferno. Fuck you, Ferno. There you go.
I genuinely expected magic then. When you said this is called "Fuck You, Ferno," I genuinely thought this was going to be like Tenacious D, "Fuck her gently" kind of thing.
Well, you asked, so I've worked really hard on that this weekend. Hope you enjoyed it.
Ferno says, yes! Wait! I got so bitter that I genuinely got excited. Mr. T, absolute banger, would add to Spotify. Let's jump back up. Fatma Dave says, it almost like the job centre scene from Full Monty. Absolutely. Where was it? Was it Chrome? There we go. I believe in
film.
Yeah.
Way from
Twitch is rolling too fast. Okay, where do we get to? Madge says, not bad. I'm still annoyed with my technical problems streaming on Halloween night. Did you have technical issues? What were the issues? Let us know. I do love a good technical spiel. So it's not even just like that general question that Twitch streamers do. I generally like to know what problems people have, because then I can feel like I'm tech man and I've no idea, mate. I've no idea how you fix it. Ferno and Precision, thank you very much for the hosts, boys. You beautiful
Heroes.
people.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't even see Ravi's thanks as well. Gary says stores can open for click and collect even if they aren't essential. Apparently, if I've already spoken about that, then ignore me as I went for a piss and might have missed it. But we did. It's fine. But you know,
We appreciate the honesty.
it's fine. We've got a really good workaround. If you ever need to go for a wee when you're listening to Ice Cream Uploads, just turn your remote on your TV up full blast. That's fine. It's a life hack. Yeah, no one's ever thought of that before. There you go. It's where woman next door and or mother, depending on your living situation, is like, turn that shit down. And then you just get, what was it? Fuck you, Ferno. Fuck you, Ferno.
I have no idea if someone was on a conference call in there, so Christ knows if anyone on the girls go, is someone singing?
Is someone murdering a guitar? West, good morning. Hey.
Sorry, mate.
The problem was not capturing game audio. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea, mate. You're on your own. Sorry. Okay, where do we get to? Rich Lock, good morning, dude. Hey. So out of order, GG's. Opens up Apple Music, searches Bibbe. Mr. T says, think I might be the only one that doesn't miss queuing up for game and console launches. Hated working them too. Yeah, I think that's the thing, though. It's like everyone loves a double cheeseburger or whatever your food of choice is from McDonald's until someone works there. And like, most people that work there are just like, I hate it now. It's all I eat. Like, you get staff discount or you get free food or whatever it is, so you just end up having like cheeseburgers for like the 16th day in a row. I mean, for me, that's I can't imagine that ever getting old.
Standard.
Yeah, exactly. That's breakfast. Second breakfast. Twitch with Rossi. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome into the stream. How are you doing?
Cheers,
How are
mate.
you doing?
Thank you.
Gary says,
sorry, I do miss them, but the only ones that I miss are the ones where, like, for instance, the biggest ones that come to mind were when FIFA was coming out, and me and the lads would book like 3 or 4 days off work to be able to go play pro clubs. As soon as we get home, load it in, create your pro, bash it out for like 4 days.
all
Like,
right.
those are the ones.
Did you play FIFA?
All in the same room, yeah. But they're the ones that I miss, because I don't book days off for games anymore because I live them. But neither do they. We're all a little bit older now, so like me, Mike, Willis, Chris Wayne, would all book like 4 days off work, go down to Asda, pick up a load of snacks and shit, all go back to Mike's with our console and just literally play it for like 4 days. Those were the days, but in reality that will probably never happen now. Most of them have got kids and have jobs, so yeah, it's a little bit different.
All right, love. Taking the little ones to school. Me and Bibby are just gonna sit here in our underpants, bashing it out.
Play FIFA. So.
David says, I remember when me and you got the PS1 for Christmas officially 3 weeks early in reality, and thought we had the PAL bundle because we had 2 controllers, not knowing that PAL was the video output standard. Yes! Oh, we got the PAL bundle because we can play with a PAL. Yay! Daniel says, I still take time off for games, also never having kids, so no worries there. It's yeah, if you value games, yeah. No, I'm not joking, actually, it's quite good. I mean, you do kind of lose out on game time in the middle bit. For me, like when Chloe was born, I probably played more games than I ever did because she just didn't sleep, so I kind of we kind of took it in turns. Danielle went to bed for a few hours, or for like 4 or 5 hours or whatever it was her shift of like proper sleep, and I would just sit there with Chloe on my chest playing Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare because it was that sort of era, and World at War and whatever, so it was that sort of era. So I'd sit there with Chloe for about 4 or 5 hours until 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then it'd be like tag in then, so I'd put Chloe down, hopefully she'd go to sleep, and then we'd both get some sleep, and then when she actually woke up, Danielle would get up. So I got shitloads of game time in at first until that kind of disappeared, and then it kind of dropped off a little bit. But now she plays games all the time, so it's nice.
Yeah. Well, now you've got your daughter slaving away on your Fortnite Battle Pass, and now you even playing it.
Yes, I mean, I want, just in case I ever pick up Fortnite, I want my Iron Man skin. Obviously, I mean, I've got a coaster with him on. I absolutely want Iron Man in the game. So Chloe's hit level 100 in Fortnite. It's like, oh, you might as well do my battle pass then. I mean, I'm too busy playing PUBG, so you do that. and should I ever come back to it, it'll be sat there waiting for me. Gary, the nostalgia of them, I guess, but being there with some absolute melts in the queue. Yeah, I'm good. Happy for the online age. I mean, I see the point. I think there is a bit of magic with anything like that. It's the same as like games industry expos and events. E3 is magic. Gamescom is magic. EGX is magic in the same sense that you've got new games, unreleased stuff. It's the future sat here right now. And there's all these people around you with a shared mindset. But once you break through that magic, it's like, oh fuck, I've got to stand in a queue for 4 hours to play 30 minutes, or if I'm lucky, 15 minutes of a game that I'm going to be able to play in 3 months' time, and events and expos underneath are just trade expos and industry things. It's the same sort of thing. Yeah, midnight launches are magic, but in reality, probably not that much. But it's more the rose tinted glasses and the looking back and being there and the banter and the camaraderie. The same way as like going. It's not the same as going to a football match or going to see a film or something like that, or a gig. But it's the same sort of shared thing. That's what made them nice. But yeah, in reality, you just stood in a queue. You wouldn't queue up to buy a microwave. It's the same sort of thing, kind of thing.
Would you not? Are you sure?
I mean, I've got an absolute belter of a microwave downstairs, so I get more excited tracking the DPD driver on console launch day now. Yeah, it's like, oh, he's only 3 stops away, and then suddenly he's gone like 6 stops, 5 stops, 4 stops, 3 stops, and then an hour later 3 stops, and it's like, what the fuck is he doing? Why is he giving up? He's only 3 stops away. Yeah. I can remember, I think it was Toby. He got his delivered to the office on launch day, and he was checking his DPD driver. And because he was the only one getting one delivered to the office, naturally the whole office was excited for him. So, like, as he's 1 stop away, we're all like there at windows, like, just there's a van. Oh no, he's gone past. It's not him. Never mind. Sit back down again. Daniel says exhibitor passes go in early and play without the queues. I mean, there is that too. We've done that many times. The thing is, like, some games you don't quite get the benefit of. I think it was Black Ops 2 at EGX is a good example. We got in early, and obviously exhibitors all speak to each other anyway. So we're talking to the dudes at the Black Ops stand. They were like, do you want some Turtle Beach VIP t-shirts and stuff? Like, yes, I do. Give me the free swag, which I've still got somewhere. So I got my t-shirt and I'm there playing the game, but it was like one of those, like a big sort of ring setup where there was like 32 or 64 consoles all set up to play a LAN sort of game. But then there was me and 4 other people. It was like me. I think it was Callum who worked on the stand, and then 2 randomers in this game, and it's just like pew pew. So some games are good, some not so much. If it was the first microwave ever, maybe. That's a good point. Touche. Midnight Launch is a classic. I was super hyped to pick up COD and then go home and play it. I bought it, got home and fell asleep. Yes! So excited!
That's why you need to get 14 packs of Pro Plus.
Well, wash it down with some Red Bull.
Yeah,
Mr. T says GTA Midnight Launches were the most memorable for me. Who was it that said that someone got beaten up for their copy of GTA? I mean, that would be memorable. Anyway, let's move ahead. So if you missed it, game will have pre-orders available for collection from store. Obviously, new lockdown rules means that non-essential retail, like game stores, can't open. But what you can do is curbside collection, so you can pick up pre-ordered stock, so you're not going into the stores. It's not just general browsing and sale. So if you pre-ordered from game, you can go and pick up. If you haven't pre-ordered, you can't. So don't bother going to game on launch day, because you're not going to get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or S from there. There's no point. Pro Plus, what a fancy man. I go for rebrand. He goes for Pro Plus. Plus Pro. Can't stand the idea of midnight launches of anything, says West. I remember doing security for a Harry Potter book launch at midnight and spent the whole time protecting kids dressed as wizards from drunks in Brighton on a Friday night. Wingardium Leviosa! Anyway, moving ahead. Not too far, though. But talking about next-gen consoles and items that you can't get, this isn't too far away from that at all. As you may have seen, PlayStation 5 has been doing the rounds over the last week or two. This is written by Andy Robinson at VGC. This was actually published last week, but naturally we didn't have the scoop on Thursday or Friday, so we're covering it now. But PS5 faceplate company forced to rebrand following a complaint from Sony. PlayStation5.com has also removed all PS5 imagery from its website. So, a peripheral company selling custom PS5 faceplates has had to rebrand following a trademark dispute from Sony. PlayStation 5 has been forced to rebrand to customisemyplates.com following the complaint from Sony, and all imagery showing the PlayStation 5 console has been removed from its website. Do you know, genuinely, when I saw this last week, I was like, oh, these nice custom faceplates. It's not going to last long, though. It's absolutely not going to last long. If you, I mean, I'll jump back to the article in a sec, but if you couldn't have, we used to have like PlayStation Power and all these other magazines, anything that had the word PlayStation in it or was close to it had to change its name because PlayStation was like, nope, we've got the official PlayStation mag and that's it. So yeah, this website was never ever gonna stay around for too long in that sense. But anyway, the UK-based company, which now claims to be trading under the name Custom Plates Limited, emphasised in a statement sent to VGC that it is a third party selling unofficial accessories that are in no way affiliated with Sony. Customise My Plates is selling the unofficial PS5 shells in a variety of colours for £32 and says it hopes to ship them to customers within 2 weeks of the console's November launch date. As revealed in an official PlayStation 5 teardown video this month, the next-gen console's standard white shell snaps off, theoretically allowing the unofficial replicas to be easily inserted in its place. Since our original story was published last week, Customise My Plates has sold out of all colours and variants of the PS5 faceplates, which come in red, chrome, blue, camo and matte black in both standard and digital edition versions. The company says it's working with manufacturers in the UK and China to create the faceplates, which are said to be made from premium, industry-standard plastic based on the PS5's officially released dimensions. While it does not appear that the company has tested installation of the shells yet, it says that it will offer a full refund to any customer who is not happy with their purchase. Sony has yet to announce any variation from the PS5 standard white design or even commit to releasing additional console shells in the future. Images showing a black PS5 DualSense controller were recently published by the United States Federal Communications Commission. However, this variation is likely intended for a development kit. PlayStation 5, no more. At least not in that name. Thoughts, Pip?
I mean, I've been following this story for a while because it's something that I am heavily invested in. Not monetarily at the moment, but I want to see how this comes about. And obviously everyone remembers the, and I'm about to probably butcher it now, is it Beam?
Brime.
Everyone remembers it, but I forgot the name of it. The Brime situation in regards to them creating a product that potentially will let people stream on their platform and everyone be partners, blah blah blah. This whiffs a little bit. As I've started to follow the story from its very beginning, when they had 200 followers on Twitter, they've now got 1,200-ish followers on Twitter, and the social posts and the people replying to them makes me a little bit more suspect for it. So fair enough, they've had to change the name of the product because it infringed on some sort of trademark. Any manufacturer in the world, just don't go to Turkey for God's sake, because every single trademark that's potentially available to you will be butchered over there by some way, shape or form with the shop names. But when it comes to stuff like this, I didn't think PlayStation would be asked, if I'm being honest, because there is always going to be third parties that are going to be creating this stuff regardless of what it's called. PlayStation have never given a hint that they're even going to be able to do this in terms of them creating plates that people can buy. If they did, then we probably would understand why they don't want people ripping them off. But at this moment in time, they haven't even mentioned this. So it's weird. A lot of people have had theirs obviously refunded back to them for whatever reason. I don't know if you can get up their social, their Twitter page. if I can find it for you, and I can send it over. But they have had a lot of refunds.
Are they still called PlayStation, or have they changed?
No, they are called something else. But a lot of people have been complaining, like replying. A lot of people have been giving them shit because they've had their orders cancelled. Apparently, every single order through Shopify has been cancelled. They try to bait people. I'm trying to put this into words. But I don't necessarily know how Shopify works. But it's called customized plates on Twitter.
Okay.
You've been using Shopify as far as I'm aware, and they orders start at 1,000. It doesn't start at 001. But apparently people were getting. Yeah, looking else at Pat Butcher. People were getting confirmation of orders where it was like 001 or 002 or started at 100 rather than 1,000. Now, to me, straight off the bat, that sounds a little bit sketchy because they're giving people dodgy numbers. So a lot of people have been refunded. They've had to move manufacturing from Alabama or wherever it was to China and then back to America. So they've actually removed the location now from their Twitter page because it was originally UK, then it changed to Alabama, then it changed to China, then it changed to somewhere else in America, and now it's just gone completely. So I'm keeping an eye on it because I do really, really like what they're putting out, but I do think it might be a little bit of bullshit to try and get people's money.
Just seeing referencing Donald Trump's fake news sort of stuff. Loads of people are spreading stuff about the brand. It's not true, blah 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 blah, blah and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised Sony went after them. I think the fact that the faceplates snap off, I don't feel like there's as much need for new consoles as there ever has been previously. So, like, obviously we've got we mentioned this previously. You got the white PS4 Pro, the black PS4 Pro, the grey one, and then you've got like the Star Wars one, and the Last of Us one, and the Miles Morales one, and the God of War one, and so on. Now you can just get different faceplates rather than having to buy multiple consoles, which no doubt there will be some different bits. So the central unit on the console that the bits that snap off, the plates that they attach to, is black with blue lighting. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony released one where that central unit is grey, like the original PlayStation. In 5 years' time, when we get the 30-year anniversary or whatever it is, then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had, or is it 30 or whatever the anniversary is. When it gets to that point, I wouldn't be surprised if the central unit changes colour and then you can attach stuff to it. But between now and then, I'd expect Sony to do branded versions, so you can have a Spider-Man Miles Morales version, which might just be a flat plate in colour with something on it, but it might be 3D, not embossed, but so I think one of the mock-ups that we had for Miles Morales had like a 3D spider that stuck out of the design. I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation start doing that sort of stuff. The fact that they haven't done any of that sort of stuff yet also doesn't surprise me, because you kind of want to build anticipation. If you start releasing faceplates or talking about faceplates before your products even come out, you're almost saying, okay, we know a lot of people don't like the way it looks. This is how you can make it look pretty. By saying that, you're effectively saying, my console looks ugly. You think it looks ugly. We understand you think it looks ugly, and this is how you can make it look better. So by releasing that stuff now, they'd be acknowledging the fact that people don't like the way the console looks, or they'd be making it a bit confusing to begin with. No, just get your console, digital or not, and that's it. And then when you're all bedded in, you're using your PS5, you know how that works. Oh, actually, do you want to change the way it looks? If you want to just decorate it, do you want a nice green one, or whatever? Then you buy these bits. Wouldn't be surprised if they did that then. The issue with Customize My Plates or PlayStation 5 as it was is, without speaking to Sony and making an unofficial aftermarket product, that's fine. That's completely fine. Anyone can do that. You can create a plate, as long as you don't say that it's for a PlayStation and use their console and their branding and infringe on any copyrights, then you can do what you want. If someone wants to clip that to their PlayStation, that's on them. But yeah, they went too close. They just clearly hadn't done their research into it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is legitimate, if it is a new start small company. that wants to step into selling aftermarket parts, but it smells like they've never done it before if they get that close to a copyright infringement, especially on a company as big and as protected for Sony as well.
Yeah.
Sony will sell them for probably 40 to 50 quid, says Asim, and that's why they don't want these guys selling them unless they're an approved third-party licensor. Exactly, that third-party license, we've seen officially licensed Nakon controllers. Razer Raiju is an officially licensed controller. There's an official license like mouse and keyboard sort of attachment for PlayStation. All sorts of different companies have made official peripherals and official third-party or aftermarket parts, but they all have got in bed with Sony. They give something to Sony. Either they've paid for the use of the license or they get a kickback on number of products sold. And Customize My Plates are doing that without anything going to Sony. They're using their brand and, yeah, not giving anything back for it. Which, I mean, if it was called Customize My Plates from the off, it might not have done as well. So if they get away with it, if they just say, okay, we change everything, it's fine now, and Sony leave it, they've still got a very significant advantage by calling themselves PlayStation 5. That will have got a lot of people's attention off the bat.
Well, if I don't see a Mad Catz PlayStation 5 plate, I'm going to be pissed. It's definitely going to happen, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not saying Mad Catz are officially making the Ice Cream Uploads faceplate, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, just checking. Hashtag spawn, hashtag ad, hashtag spad, or spawn, or odd, or ad, or whatever. Yeah, all of the ones. Asim says, will, as in not announced yet, but inevitable. I agree, 100%. And even if it wasn't something that PlayStation had thought of, they are absolutely doing it now. They are doing it now. Even if they weren't, I believe they would have done as well. You don't make things like that clip off and on if you aren't going to do something with it. But yes, now definitely they will work. And even if they don't do them themselves, I believe you will get Sony officially giving the green light to Square Enix to do the Marvel Avengers one, or to Activision to do the Black Ops one, or whatever. I think we will see more of that sort of stuff anyway. But even if it hadn't, I believe you're right in terms of they're doing it. But even if it hadn't, that's oh shit, look, we're sat on a gold mine and we didn't even realise. Hey, you don't make money off this thing that we were absolutely going to make money off. We're quick, start making money off that. Yeah, we've been doing it all along. Have you started? Yeah, nice. So yeah, even if they hadn't, they will have done now. But yeah. Can you get PS5 L plates though? Holographic might also stand. Might also add a stand to the plates for sideways users. Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point, because the stand is separate. If you can buy an aftermarket part, then you might have an aftermarket part that has the stand built in, so you can just go boop, if you want it to be in. That's a good point. Good shout. I mean, that's where you start to see the creativity of allowing those aftermarket parts is where you start to see things being pushed to the next level then. So you've got that little stand that clips on the bottom and clips on the side, depending on how you want it to work. Different versions of the cases will obviously have that incorporated. I remember having a Battlefield, I think it was, a Battlefield case for my PS3, and it was like a Claymore. I'll see if I can find it. Battlefield Claymore PS3 case. Lock your PS3. That's it. I had this. So this thing up here in the top corner is it's basically a smoke grenade on one side and a C4 on the other, and you just basically lock your PlayStation or your Xbox or whatever up in that. And that was it. It didn't do anything. It just was a cool little thing, and it was meant to protect your console. I mean, if you do that on a PS4 Pro, it would just go... It's too much heat! I mean, it's probably not good for heat conduction, but it was a nice thing at the time, and that was kind of like pushing the boundary a little bit on what the console, what your console would look like or not. And I think certain ones lit up as well, like you could plug them into the console and they had like lights and stuff on them or something like that. So you'd start, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see that kind of thing. You mean the smoke grenade didn't ignite? I mean, it did on my PS4 Pro. So there you go, with that even the case. I want Xbox side plates on my PS5. Gary Clark's the kind of person that drinks Coca-Cola in Dr. Pepper glass. Absolute madman. Absolute madman. Tango out of a Fanta glass. Get out of here! They should sell cheap china plates as well as the panel, as they might have been able to keep the name. I don't know what you mean. Fancy plate. Yeah, I mean, that was a very fancy plate. But, I can't remember how I got it or where I got it from. But yeah, it was nice. Anyway. If you are expecting PlayStation 5 order, maybe look into it, because they have had to change the name after Sony looking at them for using their brand without any permission. They are still potentially on with delivering them. How legitimate that is or not, we will have to see. No doubt it may turn into something. There are a number of people in the industry that I know that have been pushing it. I don't know whether that's just out of a general curiosity thing, or whether they have been reached out to. If they have been reached out to and will be supplied stock, then yeah, it'll be a legitimate thing. That's a legitimate thing. But yeah, we'll see in time. Either way, expect official plates coming soon. Speaking about coming soon or not coming soon, as this may be in the next news article, 343 responds to fans asking for ray tracing in Halo the Master Chief Collection on Xbox Series X and S. This is written by Dom Peppiatt for VG247 yesterday, and he said, Microsoft and 343 Industries have shared more information about the next-gen version of Halo the Master Chief Collection in a new blog. The publisher and developer confirmed the next-gen version of Halo the Master Chief Collection would be arriving for the Xbox Series XS on November 17th, back in October, and now more information has been shared about the ports too. Fans have been asking 343 about how likely it is that the game will include ray tracing at some point in its life, and senior producer Matt Hull has said that the studio has at least acknowledged the idea. I'm personally excited to see what we can do with the power of this new hardware in the future, Hull said on Halo Waypoint. The complexity and scope of MCC poses unique challenges that I am still learning about, but I love the opportunities it offers for how we can roll out new features and enhancements in the future. One thing I have already learned here is that this team listens to the community as a crucial element to our planning. I love that, and I'm excited to see what we can do together in the future. Whilst ray tracing may not be on the cards, at least in the short term, there are plenty of other upgrades players can look forward to. Quote in the article says, first, there is a raw performance improvement across the board, Hull notes. At players? Nope. Okay, players with compatible displays will be able to experience up to 120 FPS at 4K on Series X and 1080p on Series S. This was a big engineering effort, as each game within MCC has unique performance challenges. While there are similarities to the efforts on the PC versions of each game, the work to do this on Series X and S is not always the same and included some unique challenges. Regardless of whether players have a display set up for 120 FPS, we also have included some graphic enhancements to the game, such as increased draw distance within levels and improved split-screen experiences in campaign and multiplayer. And I can't wait until everyone gets to experience these loading times. A personal favourite for me is the added FOV slider. I'll leave out the final tagline, but Bib, thoughts?
I still think my comments still stand from last week, saying that Halo is probably the biggest thing that's on the Xbox at the moment. Well, it isn't because it's been delayed, but in terms of Halo itself, the Master Chief Collection, and the Halo as an entire entity, it's the biggest thing that they have, in my opinion, compared to the likes of Forza or Gears of War. I find it weird that they didn't try to do as much as they can with the console power that they've been given. Like, why haven't they just put everything into trying to make this game the best it could possibly look and run? If there was ever going to be a benchmark, it should have been this for the entirety of the thing. I mean, the Halo Master Chief Collection has been going for so long now, not in terms of taking so long to get out, but the games are still coming out. Again, struggling to try and put this one into words, but as this game should always be the benchmark. If there is one game that they need to work on to try and make it be as good as it potentially can be for everybody else that's going to be playing it, it had to be this one. So I don't understand why they're trying to cut corners to try and get the game out and then say, oh, down the line we may end up patching it. Just do it now. Like, what's the hold up? But hey, oh, I don't know what goes on inside offices. I don't know how long it takes them to be able to try and get this in a workable state. So I'll just keep my nose out of this one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, I don't necessarily have much to add here, having no prior knowledge of the MCC or any Halo game. I've never been a Halo guy at all. It doesn't catch my attention. But seeing the Master Chief Collection come into Series X and S without ray tracing, that's kind of one of the biggest. I mean, aside from loading times, the graphical upgrades, including ray tracing, is the biggest single element that attracts people to the next generation. So it does seem bizarre that it isn't included within that. But that said, I mean, I don't know anything about their situation. Is this a case of Halo is it Halo Infinite? That's it. Halo Infinite isn't up to scratch. It's been delayed until next year. It's not going to be the launch title that they wanted. Is that a case of it's a resource drain now? Are more people working on Halo so that there's absolutely no chance of RTX coming anytime soon to the Master Chief Collection? Maybe. Could it be anything to do with the TV series or the filming stuff that they've been talking about? There was a news article a couple of weeks ago, a month or so ago, about Halo TV content. Could that be the reason for things being slowed down? I highly doubt that's the case. I mean, there will be video teams that will be creating content for that, but that will be something that will be previously allotted. You'd have to imagine that can't be interrupting the teams that are developing ray tracing and implementing that into an existing title. You've got to feel that's a different skill set, so that isn't necessarily it. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many things going on with Halo, the Master Chief Collection coming to PC, Halo the Master Chief Collection coming to Xbox Series X and S, Halo Infinite coming next gen and current gen, plus a Halo TV and or film series. I can't remember what it was. There's so much going on. It still makes me ask the question: is there a resource drain? Is there too many things going on? And that might not be a case of do they not have enough hands on deck. They probably do, but could that be a case of the hands on deck need the people above them to give them the direction? And are the people above them, are they split too far and wide? Are they trying to keep the proverbial plate spinning on PC and Master Chief Collection on next gen and the new launch and the TV series? Is that just too much? I don't know. Maybe it's not. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that isn't quite what people would want, or people people never get what they want. People always want more than you ever can. Give them an inch, they will take a mile. But it's also not quite what you'd expect. If the games are coming to the Xbox Series X and S, then surely the benefits of that is ray tracing. That's one of the single biggest reasons for going to the next gen. I find it quite bizarre. Anyway, let's move ahead. One final story. You thinking about playing Black Ops Cold War, bit?
I most certainly am. What about you?
Yeah, could do. That said, no, I could do. But I was just about to lead into my cheesy tie-in. I mean, I'm going to install PUBG. So what's that? 60 gig, 100 gig? I don't know, something like that. I'm going to play Spider-Man Miles Morales, most likely. And then I've got all of the PlayStation Plus collection, the games like God of War and things like that I've not finished, so they'll take up some space on my hard drive. And obviously the PlayStation hard drive's only like 900 gig, 800 and something. So my space on my hard drive will be limited, which is probably not the greatest news that you want to hear. If you look at this article written by Gamecentral for Metro, it says Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War takes up 250 gig on PC. Multiplayer is 50 gig. So Activision has revealed exactly how much space the new Call of Duty will take up on a PC hard drive, with consoles likely to be similar. If you're looking to get this year's Call of Duty, then you're going to need 250 gigabytes of hard drive space for the PC version, according to the latest information from Activision. That assumes you install the full game using the highest quality assets, but it can be reduced to 175 if you don't intend to run the game at 4K. That's likely to be the same sort of size the current gen versions will take up, but the next gen PS5 and Xbox Series X will probably be closer to the maximum PC install. Activision, no fans aren't happy with the amount of space the game takes up. Nope. With the amount of space the game takes up. That's all right, I'll edit it for you, fan. I got you back. So there'll be an option right from the start to just install the multiplayer, and that will only take up 50 gig. That doesn't include the story campaign, zombies, or Warzone, so it's really just a fraction of the whole game. Also, new content will constantly be released for the game, so even that 50 gig total will quickly begin to increase. There's been a lot of concern that the SSDs for both the PS5 and Xbox Series S are too small, but short of making the consoles themselves much more expensive, there's not much Sony or Microsoft can do about that. Whether Activision and other companies could do more to reduce the size of installs is more open to question, but dividing games up like this is likely to become commonplace in the next generation. As for Call of Duty Warzone, which is also available separately as a free-to-play title that will be integrated with Cold War in December, Warzone has been teasing the release of Cold War for months now, but rather than two games fully converging at launch, it will be the start of Season 1 that will see Warzone complete the break from last year's Modern Warfare. So, as Gary says in the chat, RIP hard drive.
Yeah.
Or RIP SSD, as the case may be. Bib, Call of Duty, 250 gig, max on PC, obviously, not confirmed for console yet, but 50 gig just for Call of Duty multiplayer, not Warzone. Thoughts?
The biggest thing that I can take away from this is the method that they're going to be using going forward, and it's something that I only came across, ironically, when we was just talking about Halo. Is in Halo, the Master Chief Collection, they segregate everything. So if you just wanted to play the campaign, you can just install that. If you want the campaign and multiplayer, you can install both of those. If you just want the multiplayer, you can just install that. I like the fact that you can choose between them, because I like that I'm going to be playing zombies. It's probably going to be non-existent. Warzone, again, probably non-existent. I will probably just play the campaign and may dabble in online stuff. So I like the fact that I can just only install one part of it rather than the entirety, because 250 gig. Excuse me. Oh, bless me. Oh my god. That just came out of absolutely nowhere. Did you see how quick I had to pardon myself?
It was the excuse me, but you were in that mid sneeze build up, so it sounded like the most excitable excuse me in the world. Excuse me.
But yeah, the 250 gig. I always thought that was excessive, especially when you don't play some of the modes. So I would like in the future, if games offer more than just what you want to play, i.e. multiplayer, DLC, or whatever the crap it is that I'm probably never going to play, just let me install the bit that I like so I can actually use and be smarter with my hard drive space. Again, I've said it many times, I've still got the base PlayStation 4 with a 500 gig hard drive. I've probably got like 4 games on it because I can't install anymore. And I just have to keep on circling between different games that I want to go to be playing. So yeah, I like this idea. It's not the first time that it's going to be used, but I imagine this is probably going to be the one where it's going to be the benchmark going forward. People are going to say, I like the Call of Duty model where they can install certain things. Let's do that going forward.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. No, I think. Do you see all games doing this then going forward? Would you see things being segmented? Do you see all games being 250 gigs, or is this just is there an element of this being without being entirely a dick, developer laziness? Is this just Activision going, oh fuck it, it's Call of Duty, so we can put whatever we want in it. Maybe 250 gig, bosh.
Yeah, I think eventually we are going to get to that anyway, because the downloading assets, textures, and depending on obviously how long the game is itself, I do think 250 gig somewhere down the line will become the norm. There's a reason why computers nowadays have like 2 terabytes of storage, and then you can go and buy extra storage to go on top of it. Things are just becoming bigger, better, and faster. And the one thing that the consoles, especially PlayStation, has done is be able to develop ways to be able to either expand your storage or buy something to be able to do that, whether or not you have to take out the hard drive in the console and replace it with something else. So I think this has been coming for a while. 250 gig seems excessive now, but I do think at some point it will become the norm. If there's a way of being able to segregate some of the stuff out that you know you're not going to play and just install a base game, and then you can choose what you want to tack on top of that. So because there could be a time where I actually want to play get into Warzone. So then it's up to me whether or not I want to install the 100 gig download. That should not be one thing that's absolutely guaranteed. I shouldn't have to install 250 gigs worth of a game and mods that I know I'm never going to play. It just seems, again, excessive. And you got people's bandwidths. Like, not everyone. We're very lucky in the UK. I'm very lucky where I'm from, where we don't have caps. Whereas there may be some areas in the UK that does have caps and has capped speeds. In America, I know that they have a cap, don't they? They can't have 250 gig just coming through because that may be their entire monthly allowance. So being able to be very smart with the way that you want to download the content and you know that what you're going to play, I think that is definitely the play that they need to go forward with. This isn't going to work for everyone because not every single game has 17 different modes. Like, Halo was a big one because of how many games were in the Master Chief Collection. So that made sense. Like, if you didn't want to play Halo 3's maps, but you loved the first two, and then Halo Reach's maps, you can absolutely do that. But to have everything downloaded into one, imagine how long you'll have to wait for the game if you haven't got fast speeds. Imagine how long you'd have to wait until next month because you've used all your caps. It makes sense to do this, and I do think eventually it will become the norm. That's the world I want to live in.
Yeah. See, I'm not against games being 250 gig because Call of Duty is an amazing game. I mean, some people will like it, some people won't like it. Whether you like the play style of Call of Duty or not, and I do and I don't. It depends what mood I'm in. I grew up playing Call of Duty. I don't play it as much as I used to do now. It just doesn't scratch the itch that certain areas of Battle Royale might, for example. I might then play multiplayer and just get bitten by it again, like I did with Modern Warfare Remastered a couple of years back. Played that absolutely platinumed not platinum, but like, what was it? I can't remember what the phrase is. Not prestige in the. Anyway, I got all the skins for all my sniper rifles because that's what I used to do. Anyway, got the bug. It's nice. It doesn't necessarily catch my attention that much anymore, but whether or not it does or doesn't, the game is huge. The graphical quality in it is amazing. There's different vehicles, different ways to play, different modes and so on. So 250 gig in that sort of sense can easily be eaten up. I kind of think with the amount of like content in other games, that maybe 250 gig is a little bit chonky, to use a word that I was talking about for PlayStation the other day. It's maybe the developers just are, okay, this is Call of Duty. It is what it is. It's 250 gig. It's like, who is the dude that... there's a story of a Nintendo dude. I don't know if it was Pokemon or a Mario game or something. It was the Nintendo dude that passed away a few years ago. I can never remember his name. Anyway, there was like saying, we need to get this game down to with this tiny size so we can fit it on a cartridge, and like teams of people were trying to work on how they can change the code and do this, that and the other. He took it home one weekend, came back with it like on the Monday, went, there you go, all done, bosh. And it's just like, he optimized the code, got rid of all sorts of stuff in it to make sure it was fine. I imagine there's potentially some of that could be done with Cold War.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But if you can segment the game, I think that is the best way. And one of the things for me for next gen as well is I don't want to have to re-download the whole game, which we don't have to do, thankfully. So if you've got Call of Duty Warzone and it's 100 gig and there's a new update for it, you have to download another 125 gig. You're not adding to it, you're replacing a lot of it, and we won't have to do as much of that. So that will help with bandwidths. I mean, you mentioned data caps, which Dan, where is he said it in the chat? Oh yeah, no, it was Gary. A lot of the US is capped. So yeah, a lot of the US is capped. If you had to download 250 gig every time there's an update, that would be horrendous. But the next gen does allow for a bit more compartmentalizing updates as well as modes. So you can say if you just download multiplayer 50 gig and there's a new update, you don't have to download the full 50 gig again. It might just be 10 gig now, which is better for data caps. Still a chunk of data, but still.
When it comes to new consoles, like when the new gen launches in the next couple of weeks, the first couple of days are going to be rough for a lot of people in terms of downloading their games.
What you're saying, I absolutely hate the idea of like you've got this nice shiny box, you're like, in your mind it's like, I'm gonna play the games. No, what you're gonna do is you're gonna plug your controller in. You're gonna add in your date of birth and your name and link all your accounts, and then download your system update, and then put your game in, and then
Like to get all of the games that I've got on my dashboard now is probably going to be like a day. Like I'm probably not going to be able to play my PlayStation on the day that I get it. I mean, I've got a lot of games on disc, so I probably could. But in terms of being able to like download FIFA, so I can go and play Volta, that was a digital edition. PES this year, I've got a digital edition. I haven't got a copy of the game. So yeah, I'll probably be rolling back to playing The Division because that's the one that just for some reason sprung to mind.
That's what you stick the Division in, and you have to download the next gen update. It's like yeah, it's not going to be a play. It's going to be rest mode. Enjoy your Rest Station 5. That's what it's going to be.
The first couple of days are going to be rough. I only get like the very, very best that I can get is 70, and it never touches that. It's like between 40 and 50 a download speed. So yeah, the first day or so is literally going to be downloading games. Don't think anybody's thought this through yet.
Yeah, this is when Sam's working and you just absolutely brought the internet to a standstill because of the download speed.
Yeah. We're not streaming Tuesday and Wednesday, Graham. We're definitely waiting for the PlayStation.
Yeah, we'll just do a mobile stream using my mobile data. Just, hey guys! Samaldo says they've recently updated Modern Warfare on PC for just that. Welcome in, by the way. On the Blizzard launch, you can now pick/choose what parts to install between campaign, co-op, multiplayer, and Warzone. Thankfully, see, I like that. I do like that. I mean, maybe that makes the 250 gig be a bit more substantial. The fact that they've compartmentalized everything probably adds a little bit to the overall weight of it as well. So if you want everything, you might have to pay the price for everyone else being compartmentalizing it, so that they can create different trunks, different branches that can be used separately. So having the multiplayer as one branch, having Warzone as another branch, that might add to the size potentially. But yeah, it definitely is a better move, because I regularly have to just bin off games because I need to make space, and that's because I've got so many games that I haven't finished. But if I could just pick off certain parts of them, then that would mean that I don't have to delete as often. Gary says, what Bibby said is spot on. If they can do that, they need to, as the number of games I buy and don't play the online portion, for example, is ridiculous. Yeah, no, I'd be the same. I mean, one of my favourite games of all time, The Last of Us, never played online. It didn't. I mean, it was a good online, so from what I've been told, it just didn't have. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the story. I didn't want the mechanics in an online environment. So yeah, that would have saved me a chunk of time. Gagad says, I remember when I bought my first PC and the salesman told me that the hard drive would never be filled up, would last me forever. It was 6 gig. It's amazing. I remember buying an iPod and it was like one of the click wheelie ones, like a thick one with a colour screen on it, and it was like, oh, it's got a colour screen on it. And like the dude in Curry's was like, yeah, this has got like, I don't know, 100,000 hours of songs. And it's like, okay, that is ridiculous. 100,000 hours. If I start listening to it now, I'm still gonna be. If I started back then, I'm probably still listening to it now. I don't know how. Probably not. But yeah, fucking incredible.
Listen to the same song twice. That'd be great.
That's the thing. All that space, and all I did was listen to about 6 songs. I do the same thing on Spotify now.
Yeah.
Realist United, hey, good morning, dude. How's things? Welcome
Morning,
in.
mate.
Welcome in. Yeah, it was me that was in your stream the other day. Obviously, Bibby did tell you the other day when you dropped in when he was playing FIFA. It was me that dropped in your stream. I'm the United fan. Bibby's not the United fan. It doesn't appreciate it if you call him that. There we go. Did you?
One of these shaggers.
Did you do your? Have you got any coins to do your Michael spins? I didn't get Phil Fordham in the spins this morning.
I have 100 coins, I think.
Oh.
I will definitely load in like £4 or whatever it is to be able to try and have the chance of getting him, so I can print it off, put it on an A1 piece of paper, and stick it on the wall behind me.
I got 2 Ruben Diaz and 1 De Bruyne. I always get De Bruyne now, so yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I would fucking love a Ruben Diaz. He would be amazing.
Oh, I've got 2. There's only 2 Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, I'd be feeding him and then just be sticking him in a 5-star team. He's an absolute monster.
He's not getting in my 5-star team. I've got Puyol and like a 95 Ramos. He's not getting in there. He's not getting in there. Daniel says, my first HDD was 52 meg in size. Damn.
What? How old are you?
It was an Amstrad.
I'm sure yeah, floppy disk with more than that one there.
It's like COD. You want to play their game only because that's out with an update. Time we get an update, it's even bigger. Oh, that's the thing. You want to play it, you got to update it. David says mine was 90 mins /300 kilobytes, but that was a Commodore 64 cassette. Back in the day, I used to love the Commodore 64. Rambo 3 Commodore 64. Oh yes. Oh yeah, I had an Amstrad CPC 464 with a cassette. Hey, Bibby's getting the Retro Rangers kit. Says Precision.
I actually want it. It's so nice.
From his favourite tradesman in Beijing. Yeah, Mr. Desmond Harold Gate. What a guy. Floppy is 4.1. Easy, bragger. Whoa, calm down. Inches or centimetres, mate. I mean, because there's a
animal. So he's definitely a shower. He's not a grower.
Sorry, 1.44 making. I understand now. Because it's not that sort of podcast, mate.
We didn't know that Daniel was packing.
We do now.
Serious heat down there.
Anyway, on that bombshell, let's wrap things up, but not that, because that would take too long.
One second. Are we doing the FIFA giveaway now or in the next stream?
In the next stream.
Right, okay.
Because we need to export the names and stuff and get them all into
I've got it.
The wheel. It takes me some time to get it all into the spin wheel stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, if you are a subscriber and you want a chance to win FIFA 21 for the platform of your choice, be that PlayStation, Xbox or PC, you might have it on one and want it on the other, or you might have it already and want to give it to a friend. If you're a subscriber, make sure you're in Discord and you've linked your accounts. If not, you can't win it. If you're a subscriber and you haven't done that, then you're just losing the opportunity. So yeah, we will go offline. We are done with the scoop now. The news is over, but we will be getting back on with Masters of the League imminently, around 20 minutes ish. And within that, we will do the FIFA 21 draw. So if you want to win yourself a copy of FIFA 21 and you're a sub, then you can do that. No extra purchase necessary. Obviously, being a sub is the purchase, unless it's Twitch Prime, but there's still a purchase there. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, we are going to disappear though. Before we do that though, Bib, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, if you do see any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then do feel free to get in contact with us. There's two ways you can do that here. Well, the first way is to find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across absolutely everything on all major social media platforms. Second way, find us in Discord. The links are following through in the chat now there, so they're following through. They're flying through the chat as it stands now. So all you need to do is just drop in the URL to the article as well as your thoughts and impressions. We will then give our thoughts and impressions in the very next show, which are what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham?
10 a.m. ish. Bosh, spam that in the chat. Just distracted. Hashtag exclamation mark more links, please. Oh, you want more links? Okay, let me do it. Exclamation mark Discord. Exclamation mark FIFA 21. Exclamation mark loot drop. There you go. Got you. Speaking of West, there he is in the chat. He's just tagged us in a tweet. I'm going to bring this on screen before we do disappear. Talking about floppies. So his tweet from September 5th. Excited to have been asked to test the PUBG 2.0 beta. Can't wait to load this bad boy up. Hey. To which he's responded to old tweet, but check out how small my floppy is. We've got Bavino at Graham Day at Robo Daniel. To be fair, that's quite a substantial floppy you've got there, mate. I mean, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hashtag good.
Love the floppy. Thank you very much for sharing your floppy with us. If you've got a floppy and you want to share it with us, you can do so at Ice Cream Upload on social, as Bibbs mentioned, or in the Discord. I mean, yeah, we do love a good floppy here on Ice Cream Uploads. And on that bombshell, we're done. Thank you, everyone, for joining us with and without floppies. We will be back with the next episode of The Scoop tomorrow. We are going to be back, though, before that, with Masters of the League. So if you want to see some PES content, you want to see our PC Master League, then stick around to the channel. We'll be back in about 20. And we'll give away a copy of FIFA 21. Nice. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Until then...
Stay frosty!